Welcome to A Taste of Theater, where everyone is a star. This is the place where playwrights from around the country will come to showcase one scene of their play. Today's star is shining bright on Tom Parks of Midland, Texas. We will see a clip of his play, Objects in Mirror.
All right. Can you hear?
Okay.
Can you hear me? Or?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yes. Thank you all for attending my play. I have the three questions. Number one, why did I like the play? Well, for so many years, I've enjoyed working backstage with community theaters and plays, helping build a set and painting and working on props and that kind of thing. And I always enjoyed it behind the scenes. It made me appreciate how very, very complicated it can be to put on a play, and how hard it is not just to write a play, but directing it, acting in it, lighting it, choosing music for it, the props, all of that together, goes together into making a play, and it's just not easy. So, based on that experience, I wrote this play as sort of a love letter to the theater. So that's why I wrote it. The reason I think the story is important, because all of us are surrounded by the theater every day, whether we know it or not. We are bombarded by it constantly, and we need to realize that every play we see, every movie we go to, every television program we watch at home, every commercial we watch on television, every song we hear, somebody wrote it, and somebody directed it, and somebody acted it or performed it, somebody staged it, somebody wrote the music for it, just to reach us. And every one of us has become sort of a 24/7 audience for the whole world. And I think Shakespeare was right. He said, all the world's a stage, and the men and women merely players. And I think that's true of all of us. The third question is, what should the audience take away from tonight's performance? Well, so very much of life is like the theater to me. All of us, in a way, are acting our part as we go through life. Sometimes it's a part assigned to us, and sometimes we accept our own part. But we do our best to say the right lines in the right way and act the right way and hope for a happy ending. It's just sort of like the drama that we see on stage. That's our own lives. And I hope that they'll see that life is just a drama, and the part that they play in it is the most important role of all. And now, on with the show.
Where the wind blows.
Can do this. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael, and I'm a playwright such as Mr. Tom Parks and Mr. Shelley Garrett. And, okay, I take that back. I'm not really a true full-time playwright, but I'm a bureaucrat in a government office, and that means that I write memos a lot. So if they know that I punctuate really well, they think I'm a playwright. But before we go any further here, let me make a couple of points. First, I have a pen and paper because I'm a so-called playwright, and you never know when a string of thought of words will come to your mind. And by golly, I gotta be ready to write it down and make it work. First, the spelling of my title, or second spelling of my title is called Playwright, spelled P-L-A-Y-W-R-I-G-H-T, meaning one skilled in a particular craft. We playwrights, we've been around for thousands and thousands of years, and we're one of the oldest professions. In fact, we have a lot in common with the oldest profession. Yeah, but before we continue on that, you'll see before the evening's over what I mean. Now, notice that the spelling is not R-I-G-H-T in playwright. This may come as a big shock to you, but we playwrights don't have to be right about a damn thing. We just gotta be good. And I mean really good. Now here, for instance, a piece of paper that I found at Harold Washington Library. It's a Shakespearean piece, and it's in his handwriting, so I know it's authentic. He says, now, I'm Shakespeare saying this, I know I'm not right to make the audience sit there and listen to three witches talk on and on in verse. I may not be right, but damn, I'm good. Shakespeare said that. Some people don't believe Shakespeare wrote all those great tragedies and comedies. That it was somebody else. Now, as a playwright, let me clear this up for you non-traditionalists out there. I know precisely who wrote those great dramas. Don't argue with me because I'm right. It was Jesus. Jesus, that's right, Mr. J-E-S-U-S. He's the one that wrote them. He wrote the Holy and the Old and New Testaments. Now, this is true. Regular people don't make good playwrights. Now, do they, Tom? Or do they, Mr. Shelley here? No, you got to suffer first. You really got to earn inside, just like Jesus did. And then, if you're really good at it, like Tennessee Williams, you become a god. Now, writing plays is tough. Right, Mr. Garrett? Let me tell you, but right now, let me get something over with. I know that some of you are sitting out there in the audience saying to yourself, wait a minute, what's this? I came to the theater to see a play, not hear some egotistical idiot read a script. I know this, I understand this.
Right, the music and
but I can tell you, some of you still get all dressed up in your nines, and you go to the theater and get sharp and fine and say, woo, look at me, and hey, I'm just sharp for you, and all that. You know, but you go to the theater and say, oh, everybody, look at my new outfit. So just give me 3 acts, and let me go home. Well, I guess that's okay, but you really do need to be a little bit more flexible with yourselves, okay? Leave a little room for more creative and innovative playwrights like me. Besides, why 3 acts? That doesn't seem like a lot, does it? But for your information, it used to be 5. Can you imagine going to theater and seeing 5 acts? Man, is that a long time. But you know, when people back then, they went out for an evening at the theater, they went out for a God, look at those actors. Look at the scenery. They went out for a by-God evening at the theater. Nobody who is anybody will be seeing anything less than 5 acts. Anyways, this is my theater. That's right, my theater. I want to make everybody happy tonight. What was that? You heard that? Trying to make somebody happy. Especially you traditionalists out there. Yeah, I know. Center stage, out there, yeah. Sitting on all 3 sides here. Well, the 3-act play that I know most of you came to see. Here it is. pretty darn good acting now, isn't it? Well, for you traditionalists who came by tonight, there it is. That's your play. See you later. No, seriously, you just have seen every 3-act play ever written in the history of the world. Every 3-act play. Well, there might have been a few that didn't fit, but that was probably just dumb luck. But before we're through here, take a look at that fellow over there on the right. We hate him. Ooh, we gotta have him. Right? What about that poor fool all the way over there? He wouldn't be worth a log of nickel if we didn't have him. And the young lady and the girl, the same. Without either one of these guys, her life would be boring. Boring. And probably wouldn't care what the heck happened to her, now would we? So, you know, I'm no fool. I know that tonight there's gotta be a hero. And there's gotta be a villain. And I've got to do this thing right. Now that you know who I am and what I am, just let me tell you a little bit about me. Okay? Now, here's my wife.
Well, hello. Oh, man. I don't see him, though. It's been such a long, lonely 15 minutes. When are you coming to bed, sweetheart? There's so much to do and so little time. You know what I mean? Oh, I know you're busy writing another brilliant play, but hurry up and send them home. I'll keep your spot tight.
Yeah, I know that was age. You know where I'm going when I get out of here. I know this wonder, you gotta be wondering like how somebody as suave and sophisticated as I. That's right, Mr. Sophistication got to be this way. Well, I'm gonna tell you one little thing here. My childhood, it was fairly typical, I guess. You know, I had no parents, no brothers or sisters. That's right, I did it all by myself. I experienced everything firsthand through these eyes and these eyes alone. You know, all playwrights are like that. All playwrights are like that. They did it all by themselves. And you won't believe me? Okay. The name Shakespeare's mother, what's her name? Oh, okay. How about Neil Simon's sister? What was Neil Simon's sister's name? Can you answer that? Anybody? See? You weren't even aware that either one of them had families, now were you? I rest my case. So you see, sometimes there are some things you just, when you write a play, sometimes there are some things that just come into the picture that you can't control. You know, you try to keep them out, but they keep coming back, whether you want them to or not.
If you think I'm going to put up with one more minute of your lazy, worthless life, you better think again. These are divorce papers. I got a lawyer this time. He's going to have your ass. So I won't touch anymore with a 10-foot pole. You're an idiot, Michael. Wasting your life on your playwright stuff. Totally worthless. My life is ruined. Wrong! I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. Scholarship to beauty college. Tuition half paid for. And I met you. What a jerk. You're a bum, Michael. I hate your guts and I will die and go to hell.
Jeez, see what I mean? Sometimes there's just some parts of you that keep forcing their way back into your life when you're writing a play. That wasn't rehearsed, trust me. That, of course, that was my real life. Yeah, I know it's hard, isn't it? You know, I lied a little bit, maybe, you know. Just a little bit. Playwrights like me, we can do that. Actually, Inez, what a name, Inez. Inez and I were divorced almost 10 years ago. That's her name, right? Inez Knucklecraft. Oh, jeez. Okay. I gotta be honest, not really, but, you know, I'm not gonna give you her real name. Inez Knucklecraft suits her just fine. Now, here, for instance, here's an original poem that I've written, and hopefully one day it would find its way into a play that I'm writing. La 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 la. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Pretty good, huh? All right. Yeah, come on. You know what? I stole it. That's right. Hey, but I'm not the only one in this theater-type business. We do it all the time. Everybody does. You know, some nights, believe it or not, some nights, I get to read it all the way through to the second verse. Hey, one night I got to read the whole thing. Yes, I couldn't believe it. And then they applauded. All several people living down in Alabama, they all applauded me. God, I love Alabama.
Excuse me, Michael.
Yes?
We were kind of wondering, you know, as actors, we kind of tired of doing that 3-act play over and over and over again. I mean, just like you said, it kind of gets like predictable and boring. So, you know, we maybe we could do, it's sort of kind of like, you know, kind of like Elizabethan, sort of kind of like, make it kind of historical, that type of thing.
So you three guys think that if you could take on the stage and do something dramatic, do you think you guys have it in you? The stage is all yours.
And I love you.
Well, hey, I'm glad I'm sitting up here and not out there. We like innocence, don't we? But I can tell you, innocence is one of the hardest things to create on stage. Ask any director. Ask any actor. By God, you ask any playwright out there. Now, what really gets me is I tear my heart out from inside, suffering like Jesus, suffering like Shelley Garrett, suffering like Tom Parks, and, you know, trying to create a truly innocent, truly tragic character in a play. with just the right amount of lines, just the right mood, just the right rhythm, and then some schnook director gets it all wrong and totally ruins my play. I can't stand it. Totally destroys it. Here, I'm going to give you just a little example of what irritates playwrights. Now, here's a character that I'm working on. She's an old woman. I'm going to name her Carrie. And her greedy children and grandchildren are forcing her out of her home.
The days of our lives, all my children, as the world turns, the edge of night, the guiding light.
My goodness. Really? Is that what we're going to do? I don't think so. I just don't think so. No. Come on, Carrie, fine, sweetheart. But you know what? It needs a little something. There is just not enough impact, you know what I mean? So here's what I want you to do. Ditch the locking key. Just ditch it. Yeah. I want you coming out home this stack of old newspapers. And every time you say a line, I want you to toss it. Just toss it. Can you do that for me? If you can. Great. Not too crippled now, but not too light either. Just right. Let's see it.
The days of our lives, all my children, as the world turns, the edge of night.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. That was fabulous. What do you think there, Michael? Maybe a little more sing-songy. Michael, what do you think?
What do I think? Are you serious? What do I think? My play will not be gimmicked up. Forget the newspaper bit, okay? Forget about it. The lines that I write can speak for themselves. They don't need any gimmicks. No gimmicks they need. You are a narrow-brained, shallow-minded fool.
Okay, great. Thanks, Michael. Okay, good. We are definitely keeping that newspaper bit. That'll do it for now, people.
And of course, they will. They'll keep that lousy newspaper bit. And you know what? There's not one damn thing that I could do about it. Why? Because she did not change one single word that I wrote. That's the rules of playwright. Don't change one single word of a play without the playwright's permission. But oh, you can throw in all the gimmicks you want. And believe me, directors, they have no bit of shame at all. They'll gimmick up your play right before your very eyes. And there's nothing that I can do as long as I keep the words that I've written. You know, it used to be so simple way back when. You know, Shakespeare had a guy that would come out on stage and say something like, "Here be woods." And by golly, there would be woods as far as the audience was concerned. Today, actually, actors ain't any better. They're not. Before your very eyes, they will mangle, tear apart your very best lines. There's no end to what damage that can do what I've written. Carrie, come here. Come here, please. I've written 4 words. 4 lousy, stinking words. 4! Now, these 4 words are very important in the scene. And by the way she says those 4 words is absolutely crucial. Carrie, line, please.
What are you doing?
Are you serious? Now, not even close. Try it again.
What are you doing?
No, Carrie. Back up a little bit. Think.
What are you doing?
No! Say it the right way. Say it with some expression. Say it like the hell you mean it.
What are you doing?
No! 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 Again!
What?
Are you freaking serious?
What are you doing?
My play will not be gimmicked up. The
Okay, y'all keep doing that. Now, ladies, we're gonna work with y'all. Keep going, fellas.